Hello everyone, welcome back to Jessie Kate Creates. I'm Jessica, and in today's video I'm going to share with you my take on CallMeCraftyAl's January 2023 sheetload of cards. CallMeCraftyAl is a card maker here on YouTube, and every month she does a sheetload of cards where she gives you all of the dimensions and the cutting guides and everything you need to make a set of the card that you see here. January's sheet load yielded 8 cards. So I'm going to show you my take on these. I will have CallMeCraftyAl linked in the description box below. These sheetload of card templates are free if you're a subscriber to her YouTube channel. And I'll also make sure I link the video that tells you how you can get this template for free yourself. So for this month, this is a mini slimline edition, and I'm generally not a mini slimline card maker. I usually stick to A2 and A7 size cards, but I am so in love with how these cards turn out. I think this sheet load is so stinking cute. So these are the cards that I made. Like I said, I love how these turned out. And basically the 2 different versions here. Now let me show you all of the supplies that I used to create these cards. So for the pattern papers here, I have a rainbow paper with hearts, and then I have this like red paper with little pink polka dots. Both of those papers come from this paper pad, Happy Cake Day by Recollections. I've used this paper pad in other videos. It's just a really good paper pad I've been trying to use my way through. And I thought initially that I was gonna make birthday cards, but once I started kind of playing around with these, I decided to turn them into kind of love cards instead. Which probably isn't that surprising since it's February and Valentine's Day is just around the corner at this point. So those were the papers that I used. The sheet load does call for 2 sheets of pattern paper. For the matting layers on the card, I stuck with white pattern paper. I just wanted to keep things nice and simple, which is why I decided to use the white pattern or the white paper for my matting layers on these. Now for the focal image on the card, the sheet load calls for a circle with a sentiment inside, although usually CraftyAl, when she makes her cards, she'll kind of switch that up. I decided to switch that up today. So I had some leftover white cardstock once I had made the mats and bases for my cards, and I decided to turn those into some tags. So I just cut out some tags that are about 1 3/4 inches wide by about 2.5 inches long. They weren't all exact, but that was about what the measurements for each of them were. And I decided that I didn't want the tag to be just plain white. I wanted to add some color. So I did some really simple ink swiping. So all I did, I took my tag, and to get kind of like an ombre or a dip dye look, I took some ink. In this case, I used Concordia Ninth's Ballet Slippers. And I just lightly swiped some ink on one half of the card, just using a very light hand. Then I flipped it over, and on the other half, I used a little bit of a heavier hand, especially closer to the bottom, so that on the top of the card, the ink was a little lighter, especially once this dries. On the top, the ink will be a little lighter, and on the bottom, it'll be a little darker. And I did that, and it gave me kind of a cool like ombre look. And I did that for all of the tags on my cards. So they've got just a little bit of pink to them. I hope you can see that. Now, I also wanted to add some more texture to my tags. So I looked through my stash and I found this embossing folder. I got this from Recollections quite a few years ago. It was part of a little like Valentine's Day set that also had like a stamp and a die with it. But for these cards, because I wanted hearts, but just kind of in the bottom corner. So I just kind of placed it in my embossing folder like this. So just that bottom corner would get the hearts on it. And that is how I got the tags for all of these cards. Now for the sentiments on these cards, I chose sending you lots of love and sending you hugs and kisses. And both of those sentiments come from the Spellbinders Clear Stamp of the Month from October 2021 called Sending You. And I absolutely adore this stamp set. I'm sure you can tell I use it often. It's been very loved by me because it has a lot of just super versatile sentiments. So a big thank you. Well, you can put sending you or for you. So, you know, sending you a big thank you, lots of love, a little pickup, birthday wishes, a million thanks, a big congrats, hugs and kisses. Like, there are just so many occasions and sentiments throughout the year where you can use this. So I get a lot of use from this stamp set. It's one of my go-tos. And I also really like that it has coordinating dies you can pick up for it. And I use the stamp and the dies for this card. So I stamped my sentiments. I just gold heat embossed them. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I absolutely adore gold on my cards. So I gold embossed those. And for the little sub sentiments, on some of them I did lots of love and some of them I did hugs and kisses. And I just looked through my stash and found a sentiment die that fit the size of these sentiments, and I went ahead and cut those out as well. And then with those cut, I just needed to adhere everything down. I decided not to pop anything up on foam tape since there is so much cardstock that is layered here. I thought that added enough dimension without actually having to use foam tape. It's relatively flat, but it's a lot of layers of cardstock. And I thought it looked really nice like that. Now, for the hearts on my cards, I did die cut these out, but I kind of used a little bit of a cheat. Instead of die cutting hearts a million times, I instead looked through my stash and I found this heart cover plate from Recollections. It's just a cutting template. I picked this up a few years ago, so I don't know if you can still get this at Michael's or not, but I like that it cuts all of these hearts out. So I just ran this through my die cut machine one time to get all the hearts I needed for all 8 of my cards. And that saved me a lot of time making these cards. And I just kind of adhered them to the card, kind of scattered. Instead of using sequins, I just used those hearts, and I cut those out of some gold metallic paper that I purchased from Michael's. I love the way that looks. Now for the inside of these cards, I had some leftover hearts, and I also had some leftover scraps of paper from when I cut down the pattern paper for the cards. So I just adhered those to the bottom of the card, and I also added some hearts since I had them left over. And I did that for the insides of all of the cards. And I love the way that looks. I think it's so cute. I think these are so cute together. So those are the cards that I created using the January 2023 Sheetload of Cards. Oh, one more thing I did want to share with you guys really quick. One thing for these cards that I did, for the strings on these cards, I wanted them to have this little swoop shape, and they were just kind of going all over the place and I didn't like it. So to make them all, you'll notice they all have that kind of same swoop shape on the strings on the tags. I just used a little bit of glue. I just put a couple glue dots down in 2 or 3 different places and then laid the string into it so that even when I put these through the mail, the string are gonna stay nice and swooped like that. And that made me a lot happier than the strings just kind of going all over the place. So that's how I completed those cards. So these are the 8 cards that I made using the January 2023 Sheetload of Cards from CallMeCraftyAl. If you liked this video, please be sure to go ahead and hit that like button so that YouTube knows you like it. It'll make it easier for other people to find this video as well. And of course, go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my uploads. I've also linked CallMeCraftyAl in the description box below. So if you want to make this sheetload of cards, you can go to her video, subscribe to the channel, and get the sheetload for free. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.